Okay, guys, we are live. It's Friday night, the night before the big one tomorrow at 12:30 at Anfield with a packed crowd, which is going to be great. I wish I was there, Keith. I'm sure would love to be there tomorrow
Love to be
against
there.
Burnley. Oh, I'd love it.
Love
Would
to
you?
be there.
Imagine thinking flying over in the morning. I'd be in dreamland now.
Fly over tonight.
Fly over
We'll
tonight.
see
Yeah,
the
it's an
morning.
early kick-off. It's an early
Two
kick-off.
nights in Liverpool. Jeez.
Oh, it's coming. It's in the works. It's in the works. Maybe one night. I don't know about 2 nights, but maybe one night.
Yeah, we'll certainly do 2 nights. Although I was looking up some of the pricing for tickets.
Yeah.
I suppose the club announced a new away kind of a partnership thing there during the week, just in terms of a night away in Liverpool and watch the match. And fucking hell, the pricing. Jesus Christ. I think
it's crazy. Yeah,
I think the ticket hotel price for United was nearly £1,000.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's an A game, isn't it? It's an A game, isn't it? They call them A game.
Yeah. But listen, United was 970, Spurs was 905, Everton was 930. All right, you're in the kind of you're getting into a lounge, and it's a flight, but like €1,000 to watch a game of football. Jesus.
No problem to a man like you. But the other thing,
it's not. I just think about everybody else. It's fine for me. No problem whatsoever.
But listen,
I'd buy the space next to me and the other space next to me, just so I wouldn't have anybody beside me. That's
just for security. Okay.
Just for security. Sake.
But as I say, big one tomorrow, Keith, and sadly, Fabinho. There was news today. Fabinho's dad passed away in Brazil, so it probably rules him out for the weekend, to be fair. I know with COVID and stuff, he probably can't go home to Brazil and stuff. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't know whether there must be a question mark on whether Fabinho will be right to play a game tomorrow. You know what I mean?
No, just I suppose you just pass on, I suppose, your sincere condolences to him and his family, and fuck about the football, so like that's entirely up to him and how he wants to kind of deal with that. It's just horrendous, isn't it? We seem to have had a few of those, haven't we? A lot.
Allison's dad as well earlier in the year.
And Klopp's mum. So it's life, isn't it?
Wow.
It's not a nice part of life, but it is life all the same. So listen, just pass on your sincere condolences, and it's a horrible time for anybody, it's something for them to go through. So just that's it. It's condolences, and it's it's sympathies to everybody associated with the family, to him and Rebecca, I suppose, and the kids and his extended family. So
absolutely, same here. Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to talk about the team and just presume that Fabinho won't be in the squad. Let's the matchday squad just presume that will be the case. But because we talked last night with Jack and Doug and a few of the lads on, we went through the team, presuming Fabinho would be in the. I had him as certain starter, obviously. But there's one or two things happened in the last day or two, which even up front. And I heard good news today. Robertson, I don't know whether he's seen or not. He's back in full training. Robertson.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Which is great news for the Reds, of course.
Yeah, and I suppose everybody's kind of come through. Has come through that training game. I watched Klopp's presser up to the embargo earlier on today.
Yeah.
Just when I was doing a bit of work, so I had it on the background, so I had to listen to that.
Did he say anything interesting? I missed a lot of it.
Not a huge amount, to be honest with you. Not a huge amount. The sense I certainly got is that Henderson and Thiago are very close, and it felt to me like they were definitely first team squad close in terms of. I'd be amazed if one or both don't make the squad. Yeah. Now whether or not they'll start is a different ball game, to be honest with you. And because we did so well last week, it'd be interesting to see whether or not he just kind of just keeps it the same way as last week and doesn't
possibly
tinker around too much,
As you say, Keith, like big game Chelsea next week. I know 3 points is 3 points tomorrow, same 3 points next week, but not really. Chelsea be up there fighting for, on all fronts, and you want to put out a good team against them. So I think we'll talk about in a minute the midfield, because the midfield's the big quandary for me. I don't know what way he's going to go tomorrow. He might have some sort of a up his sleeve. I don't know. Especially with Fabinho news now as well. I don't know.
I don't think Burnley have pretty much changed the way they play football, to be honest with you. You know exactly what you're going to get from Burnley. So I don't think midfield is as much of a consideration as it might have been. So I think you got a really workmanlike performance out of the three that are there. Listen, we don't know. We don't know how the lads are performing in midfield. He'll certainly, if he doesn't have Fabinho, he'll certainly want to have one of our, I suppose, mainstay midfielders at least on the bench for tomorrow, if not starting. Nobody let themselves down last week, so he could very well start pretty much the same side. Yeah, he could do, or he might spring a change. Listen, it depends on how fresh people are. So he might want it maybe 2 games in a row for a couple of players, the likes of Casey. Maybe he goes, right, listen, let's not tempt fate and let's bring somebody else in. And he has options in that place. But likely, if he has our leaders there, he'll want to have our leaders on the pitch, to be honest with you. So the back four would probably be the same, I would presume, and he may very well start the same formation up front and maybe a tweak in midfield. I can't see any more than that, to be honest with you. Like, we did well last week. We did very well last week, So
I know people say why change a winning team, but I know it's at Anfield. It's an early kickoff. The crowd are going to be there. It's nearly an extra man, to be fair, at Anfield. We all know about the crowd at Anfield and how much they can drag the team over the line.
Yeah.
And I just want a performance tomorrow. I'm not every time with scorelines. I said 3-0 yesterday. I'm going to stick to it, but it's really about the 3 points, Keith, and no injuries. It's just about getting the 3 points.
For me, it's not even about the performance. For me, it's about the result. So, we can grow into some more performances. We've got a great performance last week. Don't get me wrong, against a side where we played them at exactly the right time to play them, right? So, at this point in the season, I'd love to say after the international break we start to see some performances, but for these first 3 games, it's all about the results. Let's just get the fucking 3 points and let's move on, to be honest with you. So no matter what way we do it tomorrow, we get the 3 points. Now, listen, I fully expect us to be on the front foot, all the possession, all the ball. And if we're clinical, we should win the game, and we should win the game. There's Neil. And we should win the game. If we win the game, we should win the game, fairly handily, to be honest with you. So, but I think a lot of it boils down to take our chances. Take our chances. That's it. So, I'll be looking forward to very fast, quick cross diagonal balls back to front very quickly. When we're in good possession, to be honest with you, to get them on the back foot. So I'm looking forward to that now tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm actually really looking forward to it. We've got a shit record against them. They've performed and done very well at Anfield over the years. It's a bit of a bogey side for us.
It is definitely a bogey team, especially in Anfield. I think we've a better record at Turf Moor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's exactly opposite of what you would expect. You know what I mean? But I see my old friends.
They come off the back of a good first half performance and pretty shitty second half performance. So that would have stood them in good stead. And they've got a full week, I suppose, of training under their belt as well. So you're probably expecting some sort of a reaction from Burnley, certainly, to be honest with you. It'd be interesting to see how they approach the game. I don't think they're going to approach it any more differently than how they approached Anfield last season, which is, close the space, make it very difficult for us to play, limit our amount of chances, and then hopefully catch us on the counter. Plus side to us, I suppose, is that we've got our 2 Rolls-Royce centre-halves back, and we should be limiting the amount of chances that they get against us, to be honest with you. So
we should be far too good for them, Keith.
We should be far too good for them. It's going to boil down to taking your chances, to be honest with you. It's conversions. It's conversion from chance rate. That's what's going to boil down to against these sides all season. If we can get 1 or 2 up, we're good enough not to concede more than 1. We will concede 1 the odd time. We need to be getting 2 to 3 per game, and we're good enough. We're not going to concede any more than that. That's it. Score fucking 2, score 3, and we're not going to concede 2 or 3. Yeah, that's it. We'll concede 1, maybe concede 1. So,
my old friend, Liverpool Football Talk, Sean from Canada is in. Sean, how are you? That's where I started doing my first vlogs 3 years ago last week, actually, on Liverpool Football Talk. So, Sean, the legend, is in the house. Hope you're well, bro. Jade Exley, Mark Forrest, Helen, as usual. Helen is in the house. But I just can't wait for tomorrow. As you said, It's an early kickoff.
You're going to
look for the
It's going to be a slow start. It'll be a slow starter, even with the crowd in there. The crowd probably won't be as boisterous as they're going to be the following week and with a 5:30 kickoff at Anfield. So, but it could be a bit of a slow start tomorrow. It could take us a while to get going, and if we do, I think we'll be all right. I'm confident, to be honest with you. I'm very confident. I think we've stolen a march. I think we've stolen a march, certainly on our front three opponents in terms of our preparation this year. I think we're very well prepared. I think we're probably better prepared than most teams in the league at the moment, which should stand us in good stead, certainly for these first 3 games. And if we can maximize the potential or the opportunity that's given us, well, then absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I think we're going to.
I think he could be right. I think he might leave it. He might leave the team last week and say, "Listen, lads, you have another chance." I mean, Ox didn't really, he might say, "I'll give you another chance." You know what I mean? I don't
worry about that, to be honest with you. The front three, the middle three, our middle three, and we spoke about it during the week. Our middle three have certain roles and responsibilities within the team, and believe it or not, scoring goals is a bonus with our central three. It's close down space, it's press, it's turn the ball over, and it's bringing the front three. And it's making sure we don't allow other teams to get a platform, okay? And that's what our middle three do. To be honest with you, we've never contributed a huge amount of goals from central midfield. I don't think it's what Klopp does. I don't think he expects it from the players, But what they are expected to do is to close and cover the space when Tsimikas goes forward or Trent goes forward to cover that space, and protect the back four. And certainly add as a conduit, but we do a huge amount of back to front football. So, and in some instances we almost bypass midfield, to some degree, and we try and play the game either as a transition phase when we've turned the ball over in midfield or we're going back to front. So, and that's the way we play, and that's our system, and it works really effectively because we've got the right personnel to be able to do that. So, when you look at it last weekend, it's 3-0. It's a Premier League match. It's 3-0. And the central midfield players, to a large degree, did what they were supposed to do and created the platform for the front three to score.
To do what they're going to
do. So I'm not massively concerned about that, to be honest with you. It'd be nice to have one of the big boys in there. I think it'll give the crowd a huge lift, and I think from an opposition perspective, they'll have a look at it and go, "Fuck's sake." Right. So there's value and there's merit in that as well. But if he does start the exact same 11 as he had last weekend, I would have no issue, no concerns with that whatsoever. And I don't think anybody really didn't do themselves justice last week. I know Ox has got a fair amount of stick, to be honest with you, because he wasn't playing his natural game. But we won 3-0 away from home, so what's wrong with that?
No, you're right. I mean, as you say, our midfield, it's a bonus if they score goals. It really is. You can get a midfielder scoring goals on top of the front three scoring goals. That's when you're really Brucey bonus time. You know what I mean?
You are, but you're advanced central midfielder. Then he's an advanced. He's almost you're pushing him into an advanced and attacking midfield perspective. And if he does that, there's space in behind. There has to be space in behind. So if he's doing that and he's contributing with goals, well then, if he's pushed forward, there's going to be space in behind. So it's that's not our system. Our system is the front three score with support from our overlapping fullbacks. And then we've got our 2 centre halves. If we play Matip and Van Dijk, who can also chip in with the odd goal from set pieces, so they give us a threat going forward.
Even Matip can.
Matip can. The two of them can, more so than any of our other centre halves, to be honest with you. And that's where the goal threat comes from. The central midfield is protection. It's press. It's harry. It's turnover. That's what our central midfield is all about, to be honest with you. And I'm all for it, to be honest with you. And if you can get a player like Oxlade-Chamberlain who could step in and do that role, I think it's a testament to the team and the setup of the team and Klopp to be able to get a player to do that. Now, we all want attacking midfielders. We all want goals and all the rest, but you can't just
No.
You
Klopp
can't just
has a
forget about it.
system. As you said, Klopp has a system and he sticks to the system. It's all about the system. Every player on that pitch or off the pitch knows what they have to do when they go on. And people used to slag Genie when he went on, why he wasn't doing this, why he wasn't scoring goals. He was playing way forward for fucking Holland. He was playing a totally different system for Holland. You know, we know he could do it. We see it against Barcelona. He scored 2 and he came on at half time, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But people don't realise this. It's all mathematics. Do you ever see the guys on the sideline before a player comes on, and about 2 minutes before they come on, they open up the sheet, and there's sometimes they have it on a little spreadsheet, and they're like this. You do this. It's all like man. It's down to the tiniest little.
There's not one way to win a game. It's not one way to win a game of football. There's multiple ways to win a game of football. You know, like you look at the Arsenal team of old, and their whole raison d'etre was like, we're going to stop you scoring, and we're going to get one. You know, so 1-0 to the Arsenal because they had such a fucking great, back four that, they would limit you to getting any chances whatsoever. But they knew they were always going to get a chance and they would score 1 goal. And a lot of the teams that we're playing against at the moment will do the same kind of thing. Burnley will do it tomorrow. And a couple of the lads, maybe I've seen them pointing towards that. It's going to be low block. Absolutely, it's going to be fucking low block. And they're going to look to try and see if they can spring a set piece, a corner, or maybe get a 5-minute spell where they put us under a bit of pressure and hopefully capitalize from that. So that is going to be the tale of our season going forward, right? So our season will be defined on our chance conversion. We're going to create a fucking hat full of chances. We're going to limit teams to a minuscule amount of chances against us.
Yeah.
And if we convert those chances, and I mean, if we can score 2 goals most games, we will win the majority of games.
Oh, yeah.
It's as simple as that. I can't see us conceding unless it's really unusual. I can't see us conceding any more than 1 or 2 per game. Yeah. So if we score 2, we'll fucking win the vast majority of our games.
Oh, yeah.
Unless we're against the top
solid. Defense is solid, Keith.
But against a low block, if you score 2, you win games. That's it. End of story. Because they're maybe going to get a sneaky goal. And that's what, 50, 60, 65% of the teams we're going to play against. Different ball game against the top 6, 7 or so. Different game of football. But against those teams who are either scrambling to get any point they can, or they're mid-table, they're going to play exactly the same way. The same way. So
our old mate Rory Fitzgerald is in. As Eamon Kelly said, Burnley pride themselves on the team and the process, as Keith says, snappy balls to reduce them getting reset with Klopp's message to the team going out tomorrow. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. I think we're not going to have as much of an opportunity against Burnley for the quick long ball. I think we get opportunity early in the game where the game is trying to find its feet. I think there's opportunity to get in behind them. Yeah. But I think as the game settles down and the patterns form, and it's mostly us on the ball, we're not going to have that opportunity to get the ball from back to front quickly. They're just going to be set.
But they play a different type of football. I mean, Norwich attack you and leave space. Norwich would leave space, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they came out to play. But I don't think Burnley are going to do that now at all. So it really is going to be, and this is one of the games where you're definitely looking at Anfield specifically. You're looking for a higher chance conversion, certainly than we had last season, whereby we struggled. We struggled. So I think tomorrow is going to be a real bellwether for the rest of the season. To be honest with you, the only good thing, right, is that Salah looks to be on fucking for it. To be honest with you, and he looks like if he gets a sniff, he's in. To be honest with you, and I do fancy Bobby coming off the bench and possibly getting one tomorrow.
So you're more or less going with the same team here, right?
Yeah, there might be a change. There might be a change in midfield. And, Yo Cool there, Thiago is brought in for these type of games. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, maybe. Although what we do lack in one of these games and haven't had it for a long time is somebody scoring goals from outside the box. We are going to get opportunities to shoot from outside the box. So does that mean Oxlade comes in? Because we know if he gets a little bit of time in the ball, he can bang one, right? Fabinho's not going to be in tomorrow. So he's not going to be the one who's going to bang from outside the box. Who else is going to bang one from outside the box? I think Ox can bang one from outside the box.
Yeah.
So
he's the only one.
The only one, yeah.
I think Keita needs a run of games once he's fit. I think Keita plays. I think that's a defo. The back five, including the keepers, the back five. That's it. Robbo's not available for
I think it's a great game for Keita because he can break the lines, right? And he can cut through that first line of defense, right? And open things up. So I think he's, listen, his A game is perfectly suited for this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't wait for tomorrow. I like those early games as well because the team news must be out around 11:30. I mean,
you're on the up and you're into team news. Don't rule out a scabby set piece goal tomorrow either. To be honest with you,
no.
Matip, Van Dijk maybe getting up from set piece perspective and maybe scoring. So don't rule that out either tomorrow. I think it's going to be scrappy. I think it's going to be hard work. But I think we're going to
have to set the foundation, Keith. The first 15-20 at Anfield. There's going to be a lot of expected from Liverpool, to be out of the blocks fast because the fans being there and stuff like that. There'll be a lot of pressure on Liverpool just to go get at them the way we were back in 17-18 season where we were going forward and letting in loads at the back, but scoring 4 and letting in 3. But I think tomorrow, listen, we've got a system. We trust in Klopp's system. Klopp trusts in the system. So nothing's really going to change. You know what I mean? Other than the fans, you'll hear them in the back of your bleeding mind and man on and all this type of thing. I'm expecting a performance tomorrow. I'm expecting 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Listen, nothing else will be accepted, to be honest with you, other than 3 points.
Well, yeah.
So,
we're not going to stay
I am confident. I am confident, to be honest with you. I think we probably owe them something as well, and I know Klopp on the presser earlier on today said it's nothing to do with revenge and it's nothing to do with that. But I'm sure that result above any other of the 6 defeats probably rankles with the lads, to be honest with you, more so than anything else.
As you said, we'll finish this stream for the last minute or two talking about the King of Egypt, Mo Salah. I mean, his numbers, Keith, he's 98 Premier League goals in 159 Premier League games. So if he scores 2 tomorrow, he will have 100 league Premier League in the 100 club. This guy is unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and you still see people having a pop at him on social media, left, right, and centre. To be honest with you,
did you see the thing on Talk Sport today? I was on yesterday, but it was on Talk Sport and Twitter today. Which about Andy Goldstein,
and
Darren Bent, I think it was talking about Salah, and he was turning around talking about Rashford and Greenwood in the same boat as Salah. Your man's going, what are you talking about? Salah's different level. Salah is different level. This guy is going to be an absolute. He is a legend.
The only bit of credence, and I suppose you can give, and I suppose any type of that you can give to that is that I suppose the point being made in terms of their age profile means they could potentially get there, but they're fucking certainly nowhere near it now.
It's hard to get there. His level's hard.
So Salah at his age was flattering to deceive, right? So let's just call a spade, right? And say, right, Salah at their age was probably flattering to deceive. It's certainly at Chelsea, and then went on to Roma. So, but.
That's hindsight, and
that's it. If you're comparing players over the last 3 seasons, 4 seasons, you can't. And Rashford just played for the last 4 seasons, So if you're comparing seasons, there is no comparison whatsoever. Listen, I can understand why people look at him and say, right,
here you go. Look at that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get into the Man United. No,
but I've seen stuff now. They're all gone fucking mad over there, right? Wherever the fuck they're smoking, and they're now kind of going comparing player against player, and not one of Liverpool's starting 11 will get into all this kind of fucking bollocks.
Bullshit.
And they've won fucking nothing, and they've won nothing since 2012, effectively, apart from fucking some Mickey Mouse cups. So they've won nothing. They've won nothing on the Solskjaer. Fucking nothing, right? So
potato park cups is what they won.
So, for fuck's sake, lads. They've won fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you're going to swap out Champions League winning players, league winning players, Super Cup winning players, World Club champions with your fucking shite. Fuck off, lads. You fucking
listen, we're going to go now in a minute, guys. It's been absolutely brilliant. As you say, tomorrow's the big one.
He continues to break records. He broke records last week, and I fucking guarantee you, him coming into that match now tomorrow was like, I want to hit 100, and he wants to hit 100 sooner rather than later. He's going in there now looking at records. He's looking at records. Ian Rush is what was 100 and 164, and he's at
Yeah.
no, Ian Rush scores a goal every 164, right? And he's at 133 in terms of how often he scores goals for Liverpool Football Club, right?
Yeah.
133 between goals. It's an absolutely phenomenal. If we'd have got him younger and earlier, imagine what he would have done, right? Yeah. Age will maybe catch up with him in terms of him being at the very, very, very top in terms of goal scorers. But he's going to get very close if he keeps doing what he's doing. Isn't, as Paul says there, his numbers speak absolutely for themselves. He's in the team to score goals, and he scores fucking bags loads of them, right? He scores them for fun. So irrespective of when he doesn't hold the ball up well enough, doesn't maybe lay a ball off as good, his 5-yard, 10-yard pass isn't as good as it could be. Don't give a fuck, to be honest with you, because he scores loads of goals.
You only realise how good he was when he's gone. When he's not there, he's 29 now. He's 2 years left on his contract, so he's potentially there till 31 at least. But hopefully he's going to sign at least another 2 years and be there till 34, 33, 34.
Yeah, it looks like he'd be there to 2025, and that'll get him to what, 33, 34 years of age. So that's the way it looks like now. The
deal they're trying to offer him, isn't it? A 4-year deal.
Yeah. Listen, he's our I suppose he's the jewel in the crown in terms of, listen, there's a lot of jewels in the crown, but I suppose maybe he's the most predominant.
I think he's the iconic. He's the world sort of, like, people had heard of Salah in most countries, wouldn't he?
So there's going to be no issue with there. There's going to be no issue with him signing. It'll be done and dusted. He starts the season like he's keen, when he's looking to break more records. It'd be the same thing with Henderson. And then we've got Mane and Robertson then to do. And once they're done, I think we've tied everybody up at that stage, I think
Robertson as well. I think Robertson you have to look at as well, Robbo.
Yeah, Robbo Mane are the last two, I think, that need to get tied up, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. His goal away at West Ham, remember that goal, Keith? The touch, the flick, that was delicious.
Flick and touch, yeah.
Only Alisson's header was better than that, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but that was a corner against 2-3 passes later, and then it's in the back of the net. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Mo playing at another level every game. He's just, as Sean in Liverpool Football Talk says, I seen him in pre-season playing a badminton competition in Evian in France. Did you see that on LFC TV?
Yeah.
And he won a badminton competition against Liverpool youth team and whoever were playing, and it was like for him like winning the bleeding golden boot. He was like that in the photograph, as if it was like a dream. He's real hyper competitive.
No, I think Klopp has said that as well, to say he is hyper competitive. He's absolutely hyper competitive in terms of what he does. So, and
that's why he scores so many bloody goals. Where to be 28 minutes in? We'll give you 30, guys. 30 minutes of bliss on a Friday night.
You told me I only had to do 20 tonight, Dave.
Well, you're on overtime.
Fuck's sake.
on overtime.
I'm on bubble time. I'm on bubble time now.
Bubble time. But guys, it's been absolutely brilliant. As I say, we're looking forward to it tomorrow. Liverpool Football Talk, he's probably going live tonight himself. He's probably going to do a big live show. He usually goes live for every single game. He does a watch along with his dad over in Canada. So check that out. I'm sure everybody knows who Sean Liverpool Football Talk are, of course. But great seeing him in here. John Moore, if Ali doesn't score more, I won't be happy. Jesus, for Alisson score another goal, I'd be just, okay in hell, It's just unbelievable. I mean, as we said earlier, Salah has more records than Jamie Webster. I mean, he's up there, different level, and I think he's probably one of the best players to play for Liverpool. I know Torres, Fowler and all, but I just think as a package came in from more or less nowhere.
It's an interesting, I suppose it's an interesting something to maybe discuss. Not tonight, we've run out of time. But when you look at it, I suppose, in the pantheon of strikers and the love affair that some of us have had with some of those, in terms of, like, I remember absolutely idolizing Torres and Fowler, to be honest with you, and even Mickey Owen when he came into the side.
Yeah. I missed a few of his goals.
It's because he got a little bit older, and when our hearts don't break as easy, or we don't fall in love as easily as we did when we were younger.
Torres was unbelievable.
But we don't. Yeah, it's an interesting topic because, as much as we do love Mo, to be honest with you, maybe it's because there's a lot more than just Mo in that side that you can fall in love with, right? In other words, when we had Gerrard and Torres, and
that was it. That was it.
Yeah,
in one team. That was it, really.
Yeah.
You know,
Xabi Alonso would have got a huge amount of love from the LFC faithful as well. But maybe it's because it's spread out a little bit more. You know, we've got Van Dijk, we've got Robbo, we've got CAA,
we've got little pod. You've come up for a nice idea, have a nice little midweek pod sometime. We talk about Liverpool's 4 or 5 greatest strikers of all time. I know Ian Rush would have to be in there, obviously.
We could go back a little bit further. I just think it's the love affair with Mo doesn't feel as much or as intense as it did with the likes of Suarez, with the likes of Torres, with the likes of with Robbie Fowler, who we call God. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? And why that is. Maybe it's because we're spreading the love out a little bit further, and we're not focusing on one. Anyway, interesting topic. Let's pick it up next week.
No, we will. And Yo Cool is in the house. How are you, my friend? Just before we go, you guys think Simicas do well? Has a chance. Robbo was out, but Robbo's back training today. Simicas is already looking over his back. He will start tomorrow, of course, against Burnley. But I think there's a chance Robbo could be back for Chelsea next week, to be fair.
Yeah. I think he should definitely start tomorrow, to be honest with you. I don't think after his performance last week, Klopp would pull him out, even if Robbo was ready, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No,
why would you risk him? Why would you risk him?
Yeah.
It's fantastic to have that. It's fantastic to have
We've options.
Level of cover, isn't it?
We've options. We never had the bloody options. We have them now. But I think we leave it there. I'm going to go 3-0 tomorrow. Liverpool to beat Burnley 3-0. It doesn't really matter, as I say. It's all about the 3 points. Keith, what are you saying? 2-0, 3-0?
I am thinking. No. To be honest with you, I'm thinking a 2-1 or a 3-1. I think they might have a little bit. We could have conceded against Norwich, and I think Burnley will give us a little bit more of a challenge up front. And I think we might be a couple of weeks away of being from Rolls Royce in terms of our back four. I think they might score, but I think we'll score more.
But some of the guys here, Liverpool Football Talk, Sean is going 3-0. I said 3-0. I said 3-0. I'm going to stick with 3-0.
I think there's a very good chance we concede. But I think we'll score more than they do. Yeah.
And that'll win us the game.
Right. Generally, that's the way it works.
That's usually the way it works in this parallel universe. But I enjoyed that. A nice little short half hour tonight with Keith. Thanks very much for coming in, guys. Yo, cool. Liverpool Football Talk, of course, where it all began. Sean, thank you very much. I'll give you a ring soon, my friend, and we can catch up. Mark Forrest, John Moore, Helen Raybould, Jade Exley, the usual crowd, Paul Owens and Eamon Kelly, Rory Fitzgerald as well. Thank you very much. Enjoy your night. The Reds to beat Burnley tomorrow, guys. Keith, fair play. Thanks.
Catch you afterwards, all right? Take care. Enjoy the match.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.